Hello everyone. This video is from my technical writing class as we are now in week 6, learning about what is it called? Employment documents? How do we call it? Job search documents, right? Week 6 job search documents. Let me share the screen, talk about what's going on this week. Yeah. All right. So last week we talked about business correspondences. We wrote an email, we did a professional letter. This week, we're focusing on job search documents, which include a cover letter and a resume. So let me go over the assignments. Notice here it says important, please be aware the week 6 peer dialogue requires more than just posts and replies like a normal discussion. It tasks you with writing and sharing a good cover letter and then offering helpful criticism to one another's work. So be aware, it is not a normal dialogue where you just make a post and then make some replies. You have to essentially write, it essentially has an assignment within it, the assignment being a cover letter. So you write a really good cover letter, and by Saturday the 9th, you upload that cover letter to the week 6 peer dialogue. So like as part of your reply, you attach it, or as part of your post, you attach it. Then by Tuesday the 12th, you need to have made some replies to your classmates, and those replies need to be you commenting and criticizing in a good way, right? Helpful criticism here, your classmates' writing. So essentially we get to do sort of a writer's workshop thing where we get to critique one another's work, read it over, see what they did well, see what they did different from you, that kind of thing, which is really useful. It's a helpful tool that if we were in a physical classroom, we would be doing such things quite often. So anyway, we have for the week, we have the week 6 dialogue, which is that cover letter. So you need to post your cover letter by Saturday, October 9th by 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. Then by Tuesday the 12th, you need to make your replies to your classmates. We also have the resume assignment due Monday, October 11th, and the chapter 11 reading test due Tuesday, October 12th. So let's take a look at these things. I'll show you the discussion of the dialogue first, the dialogue. So here's the week 6 peer dialogue. It says cover letters are a type of employment communication and an important element when seeking employment opportunities. Cover letters serve several purposes. They can be your pitch to sell yourself. They can showcase your written communication abilities to prospective employers, and they provide an opportunity to request an interview. In this discussion, you'll have an opportunity to critique others' cover letters and obtain some ideas for creating an attention-getting letter. For your first post, you need to write a cover letter in a separate Word document, and then you're going to post that cover letter along with a brief description of the job position that it's intended for. So you can either make up a job position or find one on like a job hunting website, Monster, whatever, job search. So you write the cover letter as a Word document and you upload the document as an attachment to your post. That make sense? Then you're going to reply to classmates critiquing their work, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, etc. Let me take a look at the rubric for it here real quick. Okay, so here's the rubric for this dialogue. Your initial post, well-developed response that fully addresses and develops all aspects of the question or prompt. Essentially, for this discussion or this dialogue, did you write a good cover letter, right? Then are your replies good? And are your mechanics good? Please note that I am going to be grading this dialogue with more rigidness, I guess, than I would a normal dialogue, simply because there's essentially an assignment within the dialogue, right? Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Let's take a look at the actual lesson. So if you click on course content, you'll get here, scroll down to week 6, job search documents. The chapter 11 reading is all about employment communication and will help you with resumes and cover letters. We also have this reading on resumes and cover letters to help you out. I highly recommend you read through this. Specifically, it gives you guidelines for formatting your resume, as well as some samples to look at. Best practice here would be to kind of mimic yours after a sample. It also explains the goal of a cover letter and how to write one. You are able as well to kind of Google these things. There isn't really a one right way of writing a cover letter or writing a resume. And in fact, you kind of need to cater these documents for the jobs that you are applying for. But this particular reading will give you some general advice and guidance. So Let's also take a look at the assignment for the resume here. In this assignment, you will create a resume, choosing one of the following options. Write a functional resume that highlights your skills for a specific job in your field. Option 2, write a chronological resume that highlights your work history and experience. Or option 3, search for a current job posting in your field that matches your skills and experience. Provide a link to the posting. Students forget to do that a lot of time. Provide a link, and then write a resume that you would submit for this posting. And then there is a sample resume template here that we will look at in a minute. I just want to highlight a couple of things, both, I guess, in regards to the cover letter and the resume, and then talk a little bit about these functions, or these options, sorry. The first thing I want to highlight, and it's really just the main thing here, is just be careful, especially with the cover letter. There is the purpose of both the cover letter and the resume is to get you an interview. That's it, right? We're just trying to get our foot in the door to get an interview. The subtle little thing that's important about cover letters is, as much as you may want the job, the tone and style of your cover letter needs to be about what you would bring to the table for the job, right? So what I mean by that is, like, let's say that you found a job opening at your dream hospital in your dream town, you know, and you want that job. Your cover letter and resume need to explain why they should want you, why you would be the perfect fit, which is a subtle kind of nuanced difference. But I've often read cover letters where people are explaining how much they want this job and why it would be so great for them, but it doesn't do a good job of explaining why it would be so great for the company to hire that person. So remember, your goal here is to convince them why they need you, not to highlight how much you really want this job. Let's talk about the resume options here. Option 1, write a functional resume that highlights your skills for a specific job in your field. This is likely the best option if you don't have a lot of experience in your field, because you can focus on skills and education. Number 2 would be write a chronological resume that highlights your work history and experience. This would probably be a longer resume, like 2 full pages. And it would be appropriate if the big driving factor into why this company should hire you is that you've done this sort of thing for a very long time, right? If you have 6 different places where you've worked and done this exact kind of thing, then emphasizing and highlighting all of that experience is beneficial. The third one here is to search for a current job posting and then write a resume that you would submit for this job posting. I think this one is really important to consider because it is basically recommending that you write a resume specifically for that job. Ideally, anytime you apply for a job, the resume you submit should be catered to that job. I'm not saying that you need to rewrite a whole brand new resume for every new job that you apply to, but you should have like your basic resume and then think about what needs to be highlighted and emphasized and changed or removed based on the job you're applying to. Sort of specializing your documents for the job. If you take a look at the week 6 resume template here, so you click on this blue link, and it will take you to this resume template. You can use this template, you can use other templates. I'll talk about some of the things that are important overall in a resume. Make sure you have your first, last name, city, state, zip, phone, email, all your contact information. If for some reason you don't want to share with me this information, that's fine. You can make it up. Just make up, some random address, that's fine. Make sure you have a professional summary. This should always be catered to the individual job you are applying to. I worked at a writing center where we had, as a writing tutor, for example, and I was part of the hiring process, and we would have students or people who would submit resumes to us, and their professional summary would say that they were looking for a job in education, which is fine. I mean, technically it was a job in education that they were applying for, but it wouldn't say anything about looking for a job working with like students with writing or anything like that. And it was like, okay, I see. You've sent this exact same resume to every job in education that you could, which is fine, but it doesn't exactly make me feel, if I'm reading your resume, like you have special interest in this job, right? So then you want to list your skills and qualifications. Notice in this that the font that's in italics is guidance here, so please don't include it in your actual resume. Your education, starting with your most recent, then your professional experience. The most recent job experience should be listed first. Relatable volunteer experience can go in this category, 3 to 4 short bullet points. One thing I will say is with these bullet points, make sure that you have the verb tense right. If it's a job you work at now, present tense for these verb tense or for these things that you do, right? For what your actual job is. If it's a job you used to work at, turn it to past tense. References are weird. In most cases now, they don't really need to belong to go with your reference or with your resume. Companies will ask for them separately if they want them. So I don't really care if you have references here. I wouldn't bother with it. Ideally, a resume should only be 1 page. Unless you're doing that long work history one, then you can kind of get away with 2 pages. But what we're trying to get with a resume is aesthetically, we don't want a lot of white space, and we want all of the necessary information that sells you for this job to hit hard and hit quickly. What I mean by that is that most people who are looking at resumes spend 10 seconds looking at them. Within 10 seconds, they know if you are in the call for an interview pile or the throw in the trash pile. So just think of your resume almost as like your first impression. Your resume and your cover letter combined as your kind of first impression to a job. Again, it doesn't need to be this format. It can be. It's up to you. I'm sure that you've all written resumes before. Cater it to how you want. Don't get too fancy with it. Sometimes people have very fancy looking resumes, and they do so because they don't have a lot of actual content in their resume, and they're just trying to kind of cover it up, right? Okay. Let's see if there's anything else we really need to talk about. The rubric, that's good. Let's look at the rubric for the resume. But you know what you are getting graded on. Here we go. Content, summary, experience, education, skills, etc. That each major content section of the resume is clear, concise, relevant, and organized in appropriate order. That your resume has good formatting. That your resume has overall effectiveness, polished professional tone and style, effective word choice and phrasing, vivid representation of the applicant for the reader, and then writing mechanics. Okay, so real quick, one more time, let's look at those deadlines, make sure everybody is on the same page. Your deadlines for the week. You have the week 6 peer dialogue first post, which is your cover letter, Saturday, October 9th. Your resume as an assignment submit Monday, October 11th. The reading test for chapter 11, Tuesday, October 12th, and your week 6 replies to the peer dialogue by Tuesday, October 12th as well. Okay, I think that's it. It shouldn't be too hard of a week. I don't think writing cover letters and resumes is too challenging. Just takes a little time to sit down and kind of get all of that information on the page, right? But having an updated resume is a good thing. I just updated mine like a week ago, not even a couple days ago. All right, that's it. If you have questions or need help, I am here for you. Just let me know. I hope this video helped you some, and have a great rest of your week.